you talked about the nausea, you talked about throwing up, but let's really get into it. How constipated have you been,
So
Meredith?
let's talk about that. I weighed 160 yesterday and I pooped today and I weigh 158.
Hey everyone, welcome to Fried Green Avocados. I'm your host, Elisa Vitalo, and this is our very first episode. So I am very excited to be starting this. Meredith, I think I've been talking about it for a year and a half, and it's happened in different iterations, but we're finally getting off of the ground. And I am just extremely excited about it. So hopefully everybody listening, you find something that you connect with and you stick around. If you don't, I've gotten to the point in my life where good for you, go find something that you do connect with. But we're going to be talking about what we want to talk about on this one. So what is this podcast? What can you expect from this season? This is going to be a podcast about everything you never knew you would care about when you were younger. It's all about the issues that we face as adults of a certain age. That age for me right now being 43. Meredith, just a smidge older. You can really expect conversations about relationships, sex, retirement planning, home ownership, career changes, and a whole lot more. My guests and I will be sharing our own experiences to give realistic looks at how people are actually managing these issues. I'm going to try to bring in some experts along the way, but ultimately, this is really a way for us to share our stories and hopefully help you relate to the good and the bad and sometimes the absurd of this new phase of life. So with that said, today I'm joined by Meredith, who's one of my oldest and best friends in the world. Every episode, you'll see new friends come on. Meredith, I feel like, is probably going to be a bit of a regular star in this show, but Meredith won't be in every episode, unfortunately. Meredith and I, we talked about starting this podcast off by talking about weight loss drugs because we've both been on GLP-1s in the last 2 years. I've been on Zep Bound personally for the last 18 months or so. I know you started on
Yes.
compounded semaglutide, I think, Meredith, and
hmm
then you went to Zep Bound. So for the folks who aren't familiar with these medications, just to give a little bit of background, Tirzepatide and semaglutide, they are all part of a class of medications called GLP-1s. So that's why we're saying we're on GLP-1 medications. Semaglutide, you probably know by the brand name Ozempic. So that's what semaglutide is. It's Ozempic or Wegovy. And Tirzepatide is Zep Bound or Mounjaro. Those are the brand names for those. Both of those mimic the GLP-1 hormone that exists in your body already. And it helps slow down your digestion, it regulates blood sugar, and it reduces appetite. And that's why these medications are used for diabetes as well as for weight loss. And there are a lot of people out there who've been using these. Any of the publicly available data that's out there on how many people are actually using these is probably wrong at this point because the market has just changed so substantially over the last 6 months. But I feel like everybody is either on one or knows someone who's on one or knows somebody who's been thinking about one. So this whole episode is going to be about our experiences on GLP-1. So before we get started, Meredith and I are going to be sharing our personal experiences on these medications. To be clear with everyone, we're not medical professionals. Nothing we say on this podcast is medical advice, and you should always talk to your doctor when you're considering any medications. So with that, let's talk about these medications. Let's start brass tacks, Meredith. You've been on your medication 10 months-ish.
Yeah, just about.
All right. So how much have you lost?
67 pounds.
Holy Toledo.
So I started, when I got weighed, they said it was like it was like midday. So your weight was a little higher midday because I'd eaten or whatever. But it said I was 227 pounds. So their guess was I was 225.
Okay.
That's just kind of what I based it off of. And I went, through a doctor for how he did it was on the Wegovy type of one. It was a compound. And it was, you started off with 0.25, then you went to that for 1 month, then 0.5, then 0.75, and then you would go up to 1 or whatever. And so I started, I've been tracking it. I had a big family event on November 9th, and I had maybe lost 5 to 7 pounds in that first 10 to 12 days. And I actually had to go down a size in a dress for,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that part. I originally bought that dress and it's 16 and I needed to go down to 14, but I had zero appetite. I was nauseous, but I just didn't care to eat, but I was okay. And even at this event, I didn't eat at all and I didn't notice it. And I kept going. And by December, I was 207. Oh, no, sorry. End of December. Sorry. By New Year's Eve, I weighed 207. So I'd lost 20 pounds November. So 10 pounds each, basically. So I left that doctor because someone else referred me because they had been on it and they looked fantastic to their physician who was better. I went to them. We talked through it. I went up to that 1 milligram and it was the worst month of my life. For me, cannot speak to anybody else. I threw up everything I put in my mouth. I was afraid to eat. And we went out for my sister's birthday to a Chinese food restaurant. I didn't even eat that much. I had one chicken finger. I barely ate anything. And I had to throw up in the restaurant coming into my hand
Yeah.
to run to the bathroom before we left. So whatever I put in my mouth, I was puking in restaurants, throwing up in the sink. I'd open up the car door. And by the end of January, I looked at my husband and he even said the same thing. He's like, this isn't worth it. This
Yeah.
is not worth it. I was like, I can't live my life like this. Because again, then I was afraid to eat. It was really bad. So then by January 30th, I was 196.
Yeah.
And then I went back to that person. I was like, I'm so ill. I can't do this. And she was saying I probably shouldn't have gone up to the 1. Now,
Mhm.
the truth was I was throwing up in December because I went from pretty nauseous. I was fine on the 0.25. I was okay on the 0.5, but the 0.75, I was vomiting a lot. And then the vomiting a lot went to everything, drink or food, I was throwing up. On a positive note,
Yeah.
which is nothing's positive about throwing up all your food, that was not good. And once it was all food that went in me, I stopped it. But positive, I no longer had cravings. I am a sugar addict and I want
Yeah.
sugar all the time.
Yeah.
I still am, by the way. I had zero desire for sugar. I probably didn't even eat it. Didn't want any more. But I had said to myself, I didn't want to be this person who never had sugar. I didn't want to be the person who, when we
Mm.
order pizza, I don't want to eat pizza. I just don't need to eat 3 slices. And now one
Yeah.
slice actually filled me. So I switched to Zep Bound and I went through the website. I went to my physician. And, oh, I'm sorry. I went to the compound of Zep Bound first. And with this other provider, a weight loss provider. And it was working really well. I mean, it definitely was slower. I wasn't losing as rapidly, but I was losing and I could eat. And like I actually could eat more than half a slice of pizza. I could actually eat. So what would happen now is I would feel ill if I was eating too much. So on my first month, so I was 196, I went down to like 190 by the time February 28th. But then they said that they were going to stop selling all the compounds whenever that was, April. So that's when I went to my primary care and she ordered it through the website. And I've been on that. And so the lowest dose is 2.5 and there's 5. So
Mhm.
I'm on 5. Then I actually stopped taking the drug mid-April. So I was 175 when I stopped and 177, 175, and I stopped taking it. And I stopped because I was a little concerned that people's stories that you're going to gain it all back once you're off of it. Have you made
Mhm.
this change? And now what I was doing is because now I work from home, I was walking the dog 30 minutes a day. And I never have time to do that because I wasn't home. And even my work was get off your computer and go do something. You need to get up. And I wasn't. And so then I was like, okay. And I actually, for the first time, I've lived in this house for 11 years. I've never been able to walk up a hill in our neighborhood the first turn. And I walked up that hill
Yeah.
every single day, but it got easier. And I was like, oh my God, I can do this. And then I felt really proud. And that was a really big accomplishment for me. So again, I was off of it. And then the end of June. So I had basically gone down on my own to about 170. I had a very stressful moment and I could feel myself in this stressful 3 weeks. I was eating everything I get my hands on. I was like, I need a Snickers. I should go get a caramello. And I was doing that because the stress, and that's just obviously how I handle it. And I could see that in myself. And I put on 3 pounds. And I was like, okay. let me get back on it. But again, the truth was I still lost 5 to 7 pounds in 2 months without it. I gained 3 back, unfortunately, but, very stressful
But that
moment,
happens.
but the very stressful moment, and that's fine. So I got back on, like, at the very end of June, and since then, I was, like, 173, 170, and now I'm 158.
All right. So I feel like you've touched on a lot of
Everything.
things. You've lost 67 pounds in 10 months, obviously through a number of different starting and stopping the semaglutide to the tirzepatide and kind of the breaks in between. And it's sort of like you're in maintenance mode
Kind
now.
of.
It sounds like you're basically in maintenance mode. So I mean, 67 pounds in 10 months is really good. I started Zep Bound 18 months ago. I've lost about 60 pounds. And I think 67 pounds in 10 months is awesome. 60 pounds in 18 months is great. One of my biggest pet peeves with these medications is when you go on social media and you see, I lost 150 pounds in 7 months. And that's not how these work. I feel like there's all of these misleading expectations out there about what these medications should be able to do for you. When in reality, most of the studies show you're probably going to lose about 20% of your body weight.
Yeah.
So if you're 220, 44 pounds is doing great. 67 pounds, I mean, you said you started at 225. So 67 pounds is doing
Yeah.
phenomenally.
The doctors had said, like,
Um,
I'm, like, the exception.
yeah, losing that much weight in that short period of time, it's fantastic. It's just not the standard. And I feel a lot of people go on the medications expecting that they're just going to see this automatic, dramatic weight loss. And you definitely do lose weight. But I think it's important, for people to have realistic expectations about what this is and, what you're actually going to see at the end of it. Don't get me wrong. I love my Zep Bound. I have no interest in coming off of it. I want to be on mine forever. Just keep giving it to me. But I think people just have misaligned expectations about what this might do for you. So you started talking about this a little bit. Going back to the beginning, what actually made you decide to try a GLP-1 medication versus diet or exercise or keto, paleo, menudo, whatever it's all the diets that are out there? Why did you finally say, yeah, I want to take this medication?
My weight definitely yo-yoed a little bit, and I laugh because when I go to my doctors, you can literally see I go from 200 to, like, 225 and then 200 to 225. In
Mhm.
2015, I actually got down to 190, but then I've been back up. Then I had another baby. Here we go. And so but,
Yeah.
like, literally every other year, like, boop, boop, and I just couldn't break 200 no matter what I did. And I've had trainers, I
Mhm.
have had every diet. I've had nutritionists, and I'm really good for 3 months. 3 months, I'm like killer. And then I'm like, finding me in the closet eating. So, and then where I worked, it didn't help because we always had catered lunches, Dunkin', donuts, pastries every day. So also removing myself when I got working from home, I didn't have that temptation. And I'm pretty lazy and I'm not going to make myself I'm drinking a protein shake. I'm having a fruit smoothie. So the food I was eating changed as well.
Mhm.
So that's what you asked me.
Yes.
Why did I get on it?
I asked you why do you do a GLP-1
The
versus
diet.
just
Yeah.
a
Because I
diet?
kept failing.
'Cause you were just like, I can't, nothing else is
Nothing.
working. This is the
Yep.
only thing. So what were your concerns then? You talked a little bit, we were talking in a text chain about you're worried about Ozempic face, but I'm curious what else you were worried about when you were considering taking
So,
the
to be
medication.
honest, even though I researched it, I really wasn't worried starting it because I figured it was gonna work or it wasn't, right? Like, and I knew the results were different. Again, I know that I'm the exception, and I don't know, it just for me, again, the food noise is silent. So, that was pretty incredible.
The food noise is a
It's
big thing.
huge.
So it's huge. My doctor, he had been trying to get me on this medication for like a year. And I kept resisting it because one, that was 3 years ago now. So not as many people had been on it. It wasn't as sort of in the zeitgeist as it is right now. And I was worried. I'm like, I don't know. Is this really proven? Is this going to be another fen where all of a
Mhm.
sudden people are taking this weight loss med and, and they're dropping like flies? I don't want to risk that. And I had also just gotten mentally to this point of like, I'm okay with myself being chubby, and I don't want to think about food all the time. I don't want to think about my diet. I don't want to have it running my life. That's all you do when you're on a diet. That is what you think about 24/7, and it's exhausting. I don't want to count things. And it also is really bad for me mentally because I get obsessive. Like I get obsessive with anything I have to track. It's why I don't track my steps. I don't track my calories. I don't track my protein because I have a problem. I get really obsessive. And so I didn't want to do it. And eventually my knees got so bad that I was having all of this pain and arthritis in my knees. And my orthopedist was like, you know, your knees are going to feel a lot better if you don't weigh so much. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm too young to be walking around with these awful knees. So I maybe could give this a try. And that was the food noise was the first thing I
Mhm.
noticed. I just don't think
And
about
then
this. And I'm not that hungry. I don't think about food. I have to remind
mhm.
myself to eat. I've never been a person who sat there and said, oh, I forgot to eat today. I thought those people were always lying. People are like, oh, I just forgot to eat. I'm like, how do you forget to eat? How is that a
Mhm.
thing? It's like, oh, I should do this before I pass out in this Pilates class that I'm going to take because I haven't eaten anything all day. It's amazing how, for me, being on these medications has been sort of this mental freedom when it comes to my weight. I can just lose weight and not have to think about it. I don't have to have it rule my life. And it's amazing. That's why I'm like, I have no interest in coming off of this. It's fantastic. I'm lucky from an insurance standpoint. So my insurance covers it. I guess I'm chubby enough. I guess it was chubbier than you.
Well well, no. So, my doctor did try to prescribe me Zep Bound twice, and my
Yeah.
insurance denied it, and one might have been the end of 23, and one was maybe summer, end of May, whatever, summer of 24, and they denied it again, and we didn't really understand why, but once I called them, they said, "We just don't cover that product. We only cover Wegovy and Ozempic." And they don't cover weight
Oh,
loss. They only cover for diabetics. And my sugar is perfect, so I can't get it. I'm paying $500 a month to be on it, which is kind of why I say I don't want to be on it forever. And why, I mean, I have plenty of money in the FSA to like do what I got to do. Um,
I'm really fortunate. My insurance covers it. My copay should be $60, but then I also use the manufacturer coupon. So I feel like a lot of people don't know that for these medications and a lot of other medications, manufacturers will buy down your copay. Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, Novo makes Ozempic and Wegovy, Lilly makes Zep Bound and Mounjaro. They have programs where, up to a certain dollar amount, they'll buy down your copay. So I pay $25 a
that's
month
crazy.
for my Zepbound. I'm incredibly fortunate with it, and I get the pen. I don't have to do the
Mhm.
vial. Which you do the vial?
Yeah.
Have you done the pen before, or have you only done
Oh,
the vial?
but before I would get them pre-filled, they'd come pre-filled. And so now when I get it,
Oh, like the needles would come
yes, yes,
pre-filled.
sorry. The needles will come pre-filled.
Oh,
So now when I get it, I just bring it to my doctor's. I mean, I can do it myself, but she's like, "Bring it to me and I will draw
yeah.
them for you." And then I just stick them in the fridge.
Oh, interesting. All right. So we talked about sort of the some of the concerns, but the Ozempic face, I was really concerned about loose skin, which was part of the reason why I am okay with the fact that I've lost the weight a little more slowly. Because that's the other thing you see online all the time is these people with crazy loose skin because they lost the weight too fast.
So I have to tell you, I did not know what Ozempic face officially was. And then I went to an event and I saw someone, beautiful girl, and she had lost a lot of weight. And I hadn't seen her for a year. And so I always see her at, big events. And I was like, "Oh, she has lost." And her face was drawn and like
It's
sunken
sunken
in,
in.
saggy. And I was like, "What's that?" And then I like Googled weight loss shot, saggy face. And then I learned about Ozempic face. And I was like, I don't want Ozempic face. Yeah,
You Googled weight loss set.
yeah, I did. I didn't have heard of it, and
I love it.
I don't know. So that's just my good thing. I had enough chub on my face that I
Yeah,
haven't had.
same. Same. I look back at photos of myself when I first started, and I didn't realize how chubby my face
Mhm.
was. And we were talking about this before, I want to say a couple of months ago, where we have reverse body
Absolutely.
dysmorphia. When we were chubby, we didn't think we were that big. And now that we've lost weight, it's like, I was really chubby.
So I had shown a side by side of me picking my child up from camp in August of 24 to this. It was July, but whatever. And it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
huge difference in my face.
It is a huge, you can see it in your face a lot. All right. Other things we were worried about with taking these medications. So one of the things I was really worried about, and you kind of touched on this when you were talking about why you started on yours, is the idea of I tried everything else and it didn't work. And I was really worried. I'm like, what if I'm one of these people where I don't respond to this? And then that just means I'm a big failure. There's no hope for me when it comes to weight loss. And it almost felt like I was risking the final nail in the coffin on whether or not I could ever lose weight, if that makes
Sure.
sense.
I told almost
I
no one. Like Brian knew, my mom knew. I don't even know if I told you right. I think maybe I told you right away.
maybe because you knew I was
Right. I
on
think
it.
I told you. I didn't even tell Sarah. And nobody at work knew. I told no one. Um, my brother doesn't know. I never told him. But I just kept it
Oh, well, now
very
he does.
now he will. Um, but because again, I had the same issue. What if I'm on it and I fail? What if I don't lose the weight? Or what if I gain it back and now I'm embarrassed? So
Yeah.
I was just like, I really want to keep it private, but now it's too much weight to pretend because I've seen people, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, she's on Ozempic. I was like, she's on it. I don't care what she says. She's on it. I saw her in March. She didn't look like that.
I mean, look, I understand why, if people want to keep it private and to themselves, especially in the beginning, but I don't know, just not lie about it. If you're on it, you're on
Right.
it. Okay, so you talked about the nausea, you talked about throwing up, but let's really get into it. How constipated have you been,
So
Meredith?
let's talk about that. I weighed 160 yesterday and I pooped today and I weigh 158.
So Tim started on this and I told him that. I said, look, I'm not trying to be gross, but you were going to find you get so constipated on this and you have one good poop and you lose 3
Mhm.
pounds. And he looked at me like I was insane. I'm telling you, it, it is bad.
So bad.
And now that he's been on, he's like, yeah, you were right. What I learned is that what's helped me, and it took me a year and a half to find this, is a prebiotic fiber has started to regulate me a lot more. The constipation isn't nearly as bad. So I was taking a fiber supplement, but then I accidentally bought this prebiotic fiber. And apparently that helps to, I don't know what it does, but it has really helped with the constipation. It's not totally better, but it's definitely better than it was. Because, yeah, it's bad.
So I went on Miralax Mirafiber gummies
Hmm.
because I thought, oh, I like gummies. All I did was fart. I did not. All I did was fart all day. And I'm not saying I never fart because that's not true. I couldn't, I was just ripping. And then I read the back of the label more and more, and it said if you get excessive gas, you're taking too much. But it says take 2 to 4 gummies a day. So I started at 2. Then I went to 3, and it was awful, and 2 still there, and so I just stopped taking them. Um, it's too much.
So I did the Nature Made gummies,
Mm.
the Nature Made fiber gummies. I haven't had the gas issue. So I don't know if it's you with the gas or if it's just the Miralax itself. But if you wanted to try the Nature Made, I find that I'm not having that issue. And they have the prebiotic fiber in the gummy, which has been working well. So I haven't had a lot of nausea. What I find is that I had a lot at the beginning. So, and maybe you've experienced this too. My side effects really have shifted throughout the entirety of the time that I've been on the medication. So, when I started, I was having a lot of the nausea as my body got used to it. But then I found I wasn't getting it as badly. And what I also found is that if I take the medication after I've eaten and I have a full stomach and it's not food that's sugar, then I'm fine. I don't have the nausea. So if I have a decent, balanced meal and then I take my shot, I don't have the nausea. But if I take it on an empty stomach or if I take it right after I've eaten a muffin or a donut or something, then I've got really bad nausea and I feel kind of weak. It does the spike to my blood sugar
Right.
and my blood sugar is all over the place.
And for me, the first one was so bad. It was so bad. Like the first
The first
one,
couple of weeks are not easy.
and then it's fine. Like
Yeah, they're
now it's fine. And I agree. I think if you eat, it's a little better because sometimes that first day I'll like just take it and then not think about it and do stuff with the kids. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, my throat. But if that happens, it's only once in like one day. But again, compared to where I was, but I think it was you that said try eating when you take it. And that has made a big difference.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know if maybe they just haven't studied it and that's why they don't have it on the package, but to me that has been a game changer is making sure that I'm taking it on a full stomach. My other big side effect has been dehydration, so I get super dehydrated. I don't know if you're having the same issue. I know Tim has the same issue.
I'm always dehydrated.
I feel like I was always dehydrated before. This has made it
Yep.
worse. So now this is why I have this glass of water. I'm always drinking water. Yeah, the dehydration has been an issue. Definitely drinking a lot more electrolyte water than I ever did. But the biggest thing for me, the biggest issue outside of the constipation has been the heartburn. Number one, I have the Tums with me. The Tums are my best friends. The Chewy Bites.
Those are good.
I might get 4 listeners, so it's not like this is sponsored by the Tums Corporation, but yeah, get yourself some Chewy Bite Tums because these are the best ones. I don't know if it's just a side effect of losing weight, but my knees are way better than they were. My knees were really what drove me to do all of this because they were in such bad shape. And yeah, in much better shape now than they were. And I just don't have that level of inflammation there that I used to.
For me, I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack. My labs say it. I can't take the statin, well, because it was giving me such side effects. And I'm heavy and my kids can't survive without me. So I don't want anything to affect that. And I have to make a change. And so ultimately I was like, I got to do this. And I felt terrible all the time. I wasn't confident in myself. So now I feel better. I mean, I'm still not 100% there. I'm still cautious and conscious of what I'm wearing.
Yeah. It's so weird now. I have never had the experience of not fitting in my clothes because they're too big. So I'm really struggling to get rid of clothes and go down in sizes because I'm like, what? It still goes on me. My experience of not fitting into clothes has been the clothes won't go on me. And now
Yes.
everything goes on me. I was telling you about this the other day. I have all these saggy butt underwear because they're quite big. I had to go buy all new underwear. I had to buy new bras.
I bought one bathing suit.
Oh, see, I bought a
And
couple
so
because I did the cup she thing.
I have a whole basket full of bathing suits from maternity bathing suits from 18s to 14s, but I needed smaller. And I'm still wearing them, by the way, because I wear them at home. Who cares? But to like go to the beach or whatnot, I had to buy one new one. And I almost refused. I almost say I refused. I try not to buy much. And if I do, I try to buy a medium because that's the size I want to be in.
But does it fit?
Yes. And
So it's not just a matter of that's the size you want to be in. It actually does fit.
it does. When I first started buying them, maybe it was some things were like a touch small. But now again, I still have lost, so now they fit.
But that's fine. I had been wearing the loose bathing suits, but and I guess if I was only at my house, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I go to a pool at the gym that I go to. And I found that, my boobs don't just stay up the way maybe they did earlier. And with the looser bathing suit, they were just heading south. And so I needed a bathing suit that could hold them in a little bit more. But I got a couple off of Cupshe, and they're pretty cheap. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, new underwear, new bras. I had to get rid of these sweaters. I had all of these sweaters that literally are just hanging on me. So I donated a bunch of them to Goodwill. I did a whole closet clean out. I was like, all of these clothes are just way too big. I'm never going to wear them. I mean, I'm hoping.
I have 4 totes in my closet, not including what's hung up, of clothes that are too big. And Brian's like, what are we doing with these? So everything 18 and 1X I got rid of.
Okay, but in the back of my head, and I don't know if it's in the back of yours, I didn't get rid of everything because I just kind of don't believe I'm not going to get chubby again.
Because what it happens if I gain the weight back, I'm going to buy all new clothes. And again, I have Literally the 2 pairs of jeans that I have that fit me right now are maternity. That happen to be a size 12, and that's what I'm wearing for jeans. I refuse to buy. Actually, I bought one size 10 that I had just got on the other day, and it was so tight it kind of hurt, but I buttoned them.
That's what matters. You buttoned
That's
them
it.
up. You did what you needed to do with the jeans. No, it's so weird because in my rational mind, I sat there and said, okay, even if I gained the weight back, by the time I gained it back, would I even still want to wear these clothes? Would they even still be in style? I basically gained all of my weight when I started business school, and that was 2009. So I had all of these clothes from the early 2010s all the way through the pandemic. And then I started losing weight. I'm like, am I really going to want to wear this sweater from 2015? Probably not by the time I gained this weight back. But I still kept some of them because there's just this inability that to believe that this is a permanent situation, that it's not just going to come back at some
Yeah.
point.
I think I was 155. I had
Hmm.
gained 35 pounds with Samara, and I went up to 190. I had lost
Yeah.
some, but then I was at home and I kind of just put it back on. And then I kind of just stayed 190. And it just kind of, then I had another baby, then I miscarried, then another baby, and it just kind of stayed. So I actually was able to fit into my wedding dress for the first time ever.
You looked very pretty.
My bridal shower dress, I still can't zip it in the back. Damn close though.
What's fantastic for me now, because I hadn't been able to do it for the longest time, is just being able to go into a store and find something that fits me. For 10 years, I couldn't do that because I could only do that if they had a plus size section. And here's hoping that there was a plus size section that the clothes were actually decent, or they had more than 3 options, or if the plus size section was actually plus size. There were a lot of stores, especially in that period of time, that were claiming they had plus size. And it's like, this isn't plus size. I don't know who you think is going to be wearing this, but these clothes are definitely not plus size. And just being able to go in now, and I can literally shop at almost any store I want to because I can go in and they're going to have something in there that actually fits around my butt. And that didn't happen for so long. And it's, again, I'm not going out and spending tons of money on new clothes. And quite frankly, half my clothes come from Target or Zara or wherever else I'm shopping. But it's nice to know that I have the option and I can go and look, and these things will fit me. I don't think you realize how much of a mental weight that is in a lot of ways. It's just, okay, I've got to get something to wear. There's 2 stores where maybe I might be able to find something in person. If not, I need to order 9,000 things online to
Yeah.
hopefully find one thing that actually fits right. And then I've got to return it all. So I've got to spend all this money up front to order these things, and hopefully something fits. And, what is the return policy, all this? It's just this really big burden when you're trying to clothes shop that doesn't exist anymore, which is amazing. You said you were in 1X. So I don't know, were you able before?
Sometimes I was XL, sometimes I was 2XL, sometimes I was 1X. Sometimes I was, I really was a 14, 16. I didn't have much 12s because I really was a 12 in 2015, 16, and then I got pregnant. But yeah, so I actually have 3 pairs of jeans that are size, I think one is a size 10, 2 are size 8, way pre-pregnancy. We're talking early 2000s. I just happen to still have them. 2 of them I cannot get on my thighs still. And the Abercrombie and Fitch, little shout out, size 8. I can get them on.
Yeah.
I really can't button them yet,
There you go.
but I can get them over the thighs.
Hey, that again, that's still progress.
It is progress.
Whereas before it may have been a half of a one thigh. So now you can get it over 2 thighs, and that's a lot of progress.
And sometimes I get mad that, like, how do these pajamas still fit me? Or how does this still fit me? Because I wore this 67 pounds ago. What is happening? And then other times I'm like, I love these pajamas. And they're like, I'm not going to be able to keep these.
because
They're
they're
like the
hanging
pants are
off.
like dropping down.
My pajamas are completely hanging off of me. I have one pair of pajama pants that they have a drawstring, and I have brought that drawstring within an inch of its life.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, I'm not going to be able to do this
Yeah.
anymore. But
And then
man,
I have,
they're holding
oh
on.
God. And then I have the other side of it. Like if I haven't seen people, um, again, I would say it wasn't really as noticeable probably until maybe March. I would say that you could probably really see. I felt like that. I mean, yes, you could, I was obviously losing, but I
Yeah.
think since May, it's been way more drastic. Now you can really see that I've lost. I was like, excuse you, I haven't seen you. You have not told me how good I look. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, hello, I look fabulous. What is going on?
No commentary on how beautiful I am and how much weight I've lost.
I'm like,
In fairness to people, I feel like it's dangerous territory. It's like, do you want to comment? Is the person going to be insulted that you're commenting on their weight? I think people don't know sometimes
yeah,
if they should actually say, "Hey, you look great. You lost my weight." I also think that there ends up being an inflection point when you lose weight. It's like you feel like you're just the same weight, same weight, same weight, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
it actually shows up on
yeah.
you. And it's sort of like they say now that you don't age gradually, you age in spurts. Have you seen
Mm-mm.
this? So there's some new study out where basically it says you age in spurts. And so you age really rapidly at 45, and then you kind of stay there for a while. And then you age rapidly again at 62 or 63, and then you stay there for a while. And then there's, I don't know if it's in your 70s or what it is. So instead of this idea of gradual aging, you actually age in spurts. And I feel like that's similar when it comes to weight loss. You just all of a sudden drop the weight, and then you're at that point, and then you just look like you're there for a while, and then you drop it again. All of a sudden it shows up one day
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Well, and kind of just to full circle it, my husband
Sure.
is on Ozempic for diabetes.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, he has only lost 10 pounds and he's been on it a solid 3+ years and he's never been able to break it. He can eat less, but not always, but he definitely doesn't eat as much as he used to, but he cannot go past it.
But is it working for his diabetes? Is his diabetes under control?
Yeah.
So it's just not working for the
And
weight
I'll eat for
loss.
weight loss.
Yeah.
And again, like another 20 pounds and he would probably be too skinny. So
Yeah, I mean, Brian's
he's a big burly guy.
like a
He's not
bigger
meant to
dude.
be.
Yeah, he's a burly guy. He's not meant to be tiny.
No, but
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with Tim. So he also has type 2 diabetes, and he's on Zep Bound. So he started it while we were dating because I was telling him, about how I had done mine, and he knows some other people who have been on it who've had good experiences. So he started on it. That first month and a half, every day I heard about this man's sugar numbers. He was like, so I'm like, hey, babe, how's it going? He's like, I'm in the green range today and my numbers are normal and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, awesome. Great to hear. So excited about your numbers.
Brian feels like talking to me every day.
It's just about like all you're doing is talking about what today's Zep Bound update
Mhm.
is. Today in Zep Bound news, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling constipated. I lost a half a pound.
Well, I generally don't talk about the pooping. With the world, I will.
I'm talking about the pooping because nobody talks about the pooping. And I think it's important for people to understand that this is something you're going to have to deal with.
Mhm.
So take the prebiotic
I-
fiber.
I'm- I-
Obviously, don't take the Miralax.
for
That
me,
seems to
in my
maybe
body.
for you seems to have been an issue. But yeah, I think there are a lot of these conversations out there about, okay, you might have loose skin, you might have nausea, but once you get or I think nausea and vomiting, I know I've got the flapper. I got the flapper
And
arms.
I like to do this. Oh, look how nice that looks.
What I liked is how you did that and then the fat just dropped. It was like, boom.
Um, but again, not in the gym lifting weights. That's my next phase. I have to now incorporate that and I won't be comfortable or confident getting off of anything until I can now work working out into my everyday life.
So I have been working out. I've been doing Pilates and lifting weights, and I'm starting to now that there was something blooming in this city for a 2-month period of time where I would try to go hiking and I was just dying from allergies. So whatever that is seems to have died down. So now I've been hiking a bit more over in Runyon Canyon and trying to do that for more of a cardio. But the progress I've made in Pilates over the last year and a half has been incredible. I didn't realize how weak I had become and how little muscle I
Yeah.
had, the things I wasn't able to do. So I've gotten much, much stronger, which I think has helped, but has also, from a scale perspective, because I've been building muscle at the same time, I think the scale hasn't moved down
Right,
as
but you'll
quickly.
know with the clothes and how they fit.
Yeah. I mean, the clothes are fitting a lot better. I still have, the stomach, which is the bane. I'm like, I just want the stomach to go away. Everything else is shrinking how it should. And the stomach is shrinking. Don't get me wrong. It's just not where I would prefer it to be.
Yeah.
I've read or seen some people who have really flat butts after being on it. I don't have the flat butt issue. Really? You're getting flat butt?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And I've
I'm not.
always
I'm not
been
getting
like
flat butt.
booty and thighs, right? Even when I was super skinny, even a size 4, I always had like a booty. And it's like so flat.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I can feel that I've lost muscle. So, and they
Yeah.
say that's, part of the spiel and that's why it's important to work out while you're on this drug. I have not done that. So I think maybe if I was, the scale wouldn't be dropping as much. My goal weight was roughly 150. So I'm almost there. So now I need to incorporate this next step in my routine in my life.
Yeah. It's important. I mean, you just got to find the time for it with everything you have going on. Well, now you can be one of those people who just has a bench press out in your garage. You're just doing chest press.
I go to the YMCA.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
And I love water aerobics, the 70 plus crowd.
I wish they had water aerobics at my gym. We have a little pool. I would go to the water
I love
aerobics,
it.
and I bet people would go
I
too.
love it.
I would totally do. At my gym, we have the Pilates and yoga classes, and then we have spin, and we have a lot of HIIT classes. So really high intensity, weightlifting classes or boot camp kind of classes, which are just not for me. And spinning is not for me because it hurts my nether
Mhm,
regions on that bike.
mhm.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
But I would love just an old school aerobics class. I want a
Oh, you
grapevine.
want to get on the stepper?
I want to step. I want a grapevine. Woo!
We're going to bring sweat into the 80s back,
Well, yeah, maybe it's just we've got to bring sweat into the oldies back, but now the oldies are from the 90s,
which
and
I
it's
would
kind of
totally jam
sad.
out
But
to. I wouldn't care.
I would totally do that too. I would totally go to sweat into the oldies,
For sure.
90s, 2000s edition. And I would just dance around and I would be cool
You
with
watch all
that.
these fun reels of like these awesome TikTok or wherever, Instagram, all these great aerobic classes. And I'm like, yes, they don't have them anywhere in Rhode Island.
Have you seen the ones where everybody is choreographed on the stepper? There are classes with the stepper back, and these people all know the choreography, and they are
Mhm.
just going to town on the stepper, up, down,
A
around.
guy teaches the class. Mhm.
Yes, yes. I've seen those. I was like, that looks impressive. I would go to that.
Right. I would too.
I would totally go to that. I see some of the ones that just feel too much. There's a bungee classes. Have you seen
Yeah.
those
I get
online?
intimidated
I wouldn't go to that. That
because I
seems like a
know that I'm
lot.
someone who will push through and then not like die for the next 3 days. Cause I'll be like, I'm not going to do week. And then I'm like, oh my God, can't go back.
There's a yoga place in Cranston that I'm trying to remember the name of, but a couple of years ago I went to an aerial yoga class
Mm.
there, and you're in the silks and you're upside down, and I was like, I don't like this. I'm good. I'm okay.
I mean, I think it's awesome that you tried it.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, this seems really cool. I don't know. Have you seen those
I've seen the
videos
video.
of the acrobats who do the aerial silks and stuff? I was like, that's so cool. I would love to be able to do that. And then, yeah, I went to the one class. I was like, this is really scary and I never want to do this again. And it was just aerial yoga. I couldn't do the actual silks. Those people do crazy stuff. It's amazing, but definitely not for me.
Now, in a TMI situation here,
Please do.
I feel I'm a lot more flexible. in all positions. I'm able to maybe get in better positions now, and that's been fun. And again, it's been a really long time. I mean, it's been like 2010. So certain things I'm like, oh, wait, let go this far back.
The flexibility without the additional weight does help.
That's
I am not quite as flexible as I used to be. I used to be a very flexible individual. I'm not quite there, but definitely more flexible than I was 18 months ago. Now I'm more concerned about injuring myself
Mhm.
by thinking I'm too flexible. I don't want to have an embarrassing injury. Oh, I tore this muscle because I thought I could get my leg in this position. I'm not there. So now it's less about can I get in the position and more about if I get there, am I going to hurt myself?
This is 40.
This is 40 plus.
All right.
Let's finish up a little bit on the GLP-1s. So if you had a friend who's about to start a GLP-1 medication, what do you think is important for them to know?
So in July, I had a friend come to me and they were struggling to lose weight. They've done everything and they went to their doctor and they were talking about starting one. So they came and talked to me because they knew and they asked me. And so I never had gone in a lot of detail with people, like my side effects. And I said, I can't eat. And I gave the example and I said, I was on this medication. This is how I reacted. And I'm on this. And I still eat significantly less. And this person loves to eat. They love food. That's a part of who they are. And after talking to me, they did not take it. And they're just going to curb the amount they're putting on their plate and work at the gym harder and maybe cut back on some alcohol. And because I only really had maybe 20, 25 pounds to lose at most. And I find men, it was a man, was able, they're able to lose it quicker, to be honest.
I think they're able to lose it quicker. And especially if they're somebody who drinks, I do think it's a little bit easier for guys to lose the weight. I don't think it's easy, but I think it's a little bit easier. This is another side effect that I'm noticing. And I know that they have started prescribing these medications for people off label who have addiction issues, but I have no appetite for alcohol. And if I have a drink,
Mm.
I don't feel it.
Whoa.
Like I do not feel, no. And I used to be a lightweight in a lot of ways. I'd have 3 drinks and be done. I fell off the drunk cliff. But now when I have a cocktail, I feel nothing. I am
Wow.
stone sober. And then I have no interest in having another cocktail. It's really weird. So now I'm getting to the point, I don't even know why I'm ordering these things. They're $20 a pop and I'm feeling nothing. So yeah, I have no interest in alcohol.
We have a bar at our house and our neighbors all have bars. And at different weekends, people go to different people's houses and all the kids come. And so it's a great, safe atmosphere. No one's drinking and driving. So it's really great. And all kids can come. But if it's 9:30 and the kids want to go home, I am bringing them home. If somebody doesn't feel good, I am usually doing it. So
Yeah.
I don't usually drink that much. And sometimes I'm very happy to leave the boys and just come home as well.
Yeah.
And, but I worked every once in a while, I will indulge. And yeah, no, I can absolutely, I could feel it. You know, I have to make sure that
You can,
yeah, I could feel it. I have to make
yeah.
sure. But I've always been a lightweight with my alcohol and I've never been a huge, huge drinker anyways. If I never drink again, I wouldn't care. My life wouldn't change, you know?
I'm the same. It's not a thing where I'm like, oh, I need to have a glass of wine. I need to have this. It's been a non-starter. I'll keep beer in the house because every now and again when Tim comes over, he'll have a beer. But yeah, I'm just not a big drinker. And this has just reinforced
Yeah.
that in general. But yeah, okay. We were saying your friend decided not to take
Mhm.
it, but what else did you tell her that was important to know?
Um, it was a man. So
Oh,
yeah, it's
sorry.
okay.
It was a guy. Yeah.
So they could see that my hair has thinned significantly, which again, another reason why I kind of backed off the drug a little bit, um, is I don't want to be bald. And so it hasn't gotten any worse. That's positive. I can't really eat dessert. So, you know, and it just, again, because he's been able to, now that like I pointed these things out, he's able to see it, but he also sees my weight loss. But he's able to see like I physically can't get this much food inside me. And I was like, I am not hungry. Sometimes I don't realize I haven't eaten. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then I'm starting to feel hungry.
Mhm.
And I told him, like, I had to remind myself to eat, I had to remind myself to drink. So I try to do it with the kids. Jameson loves smoothies. Or this morning I had a protein shake and I made the kids waffles. So I'm
Yeah.
fine to have a waffle if I wanted one. Today I wanted a protein shake. Um, Yesterday I had a Danish, half of it.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't want to restrict the yummy foods. I just am eating significantly less of them. So I kind of went over all that with him and he was like, yeah, I know I'm not doing it.
I mean, I'm the same as you. I find I haven't had to intentionally change my eating at all. My eating has just kind of changed on its own. My ability to finish food, I'm not eating nearly as much as I used to. What I'm craving has changed. So I'm not craving as many sweets as I used to or as much greasy food. Greasy food was always the issue for me. I'm not craving that. And because I can't eat a full meal of anything, everything I make or I order out now, I need to know that I can save half of it for a future meal. I don't eat things like French fries as much or hamburgers because you can't save that. It's just going to be gross. I mean, you could, but it's not going to be good. I'm always ordering, if I order out, I always order things where I can make sure I put it in the fridge and get 2 or 3 meals out of it because I'm not going to eat it all at once. I can't finish a Chipotle burrito. Can't finish it. I eat maybe 3/4 on a good day. I'll still get a Chipotle burrito, but I'm only eating 3/4 of it. But it's good because I can self-restrict without having to feel like, "Oh, no, this is a bad food. I
Right.
don't wanna eat that. I wanna be good today." I have not said the words, "I wanna be good today," at all to myself since I've been on
Yeah.
this. And that's I feel one of those things whenever you're trying to lose weight, it's, "No, I wanna be good. I'm trying to be good today. I'm only gonna eat these good foods," and you have to categorize things into good versus bad. I haven't had to do that at all. It's fantastic.
Like on Friday, I had a caramello and I'm happy I did, but I don't want to not have it and then that create a binge moment.
Yeah. Again, you can self-regulate. You don't have to just completely overindulge on things. But yeah, I think that's a big thing to know about how it works. I think people don't quite know what to expect when they start it. I would also say it's important to expect that your side effects are going to subside, but you're probably randomly going to get a relapse of side effects at some point. So, sort of when you were saying you had your side effects, things went down, and then all of a sudden you had 1 month where you were just puking. You couldn't keep anything
It's like
down.
dose
And I do think
increase.
that well, I think it's the dose increase, but I've had that too, where even without the dosage increase, all of a sudden I had a month where just my side effects were really bad and everything had been fine
Hmm.
before. And I've heard that from other people I know who've been on it is that the side effects aren't the same every month. You don't always know what to expect and some months you might get sort of this relapse or it just gets worse than it was, but that doesn't last. And so expecting that I also were you getting rashes where you did your injections? I got rashes, but they didn't start until 2 or 3 months in, and what I read online, which actually did work for me, is bringing the medication to room temperature
Mm,
before you inject it.
okay.
So something about the molecules being cold, again, I don't know the science, but that has helped a lot in not getting the rash at the injection site, so I think that's important to know. We talked about this before, making sure that you actually have a good diet and you're exercising because you don't remember to eat and you're not that
Okay.
hungry, you end up having a diet that's really not that nutrient dense.
Right. And that doesn't help the hair because I'm not getting enough protein in my diet.
See, I haven't had the hair issue. I've actually found my hair is getting a little thicker than it used to be. I'm not having the fallout that I did, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's so important to make sure that you're continuing to feed your body because you're just not thinking about it. And I've found I eat a lot more protein bars now than I
Mhm.
used to, trying to
Yeah.
just get the nutrients in my body, especially the protein.
Yes.
And I think people know that now. I think they know that protein is particularly important when you're on these medications, just making sure that you're getting a decent amount. I'm not going to count every gram of protein that I'm getting, but I'm just trying to make a conscious choice to eat things that are higher in protein versus having a bunch of carbs. And then I think the other thing too that you talked about is just I think people need to remember that you're going to have plateaus. And even when you your dosage, you might end up having a plateau. And that's just kind of a part of it.
And again, I was really plateaued and then I stopped and then I got back on and I'm down.
I've heard that from other people too, is that if you come off of it for a little while and then you go back on, it's like you do a reset or
Yeah.
something. I don't know if that's true. I haven't had that experience, but I've heard that from other people too.
And so like looking back, I can say as these things come back in my life, we were getting donuts sometimes every Sunday before Sunday school. And every Thursday we'd go to Starbucks in the morning and we'd get caramel frappuccino and we would all get it. Um, but I was eating that like at least once a week and then donuts on Sunday and who knows what was in between what else I was eating. And then I kind of was like, now I can't finish that. And so sweet. Now that I haven't had it really. Again, not I have had them. I've
Yeah.
had maybe a dozen in the last 10 months. Maybe. I don't even think it's been that many. But I don't want to say to myself, I'm never eating a donut again because that's not realistic in life.
I mean, I'm still having probably a donut a week. I'm not going to lie. Because there's this place called Bob's Donuts. And man, it's right near my house and they make such a good donut. It's so good. So every now and again on a weekend, I'll go early in the morning and I'll get myself a Bob's donut or I'll bring munchkins to the office and I'll have one or two munchkins. But again, I'm not
No,
living a donut free life, people. Donuts are going to exist in my life. We've been talking for a while. Final words on GLP-1s. What's your final take?
try it.
Try it. I'm the same. Try it. If it's good for you, talk to your doctor. I think it's worth a shot, personally. All of my concerns have been alleviated since I've been on it. I'm going to be on mine for as long as my insurance will keep paying for it. And then maybe a little after, depending on how much it ends up being. But yeah, has completely changed my life and my ability to just do a lot of things, exercise, walk around because my knees aren't killing me anymore. And to me, it's been one of the better
Yeah,
decisions that I've made.
absolutely. It's a self-confidence boost. Like, again, I hated being in pictures. I'd really only do, shoulders up. Now I'm not as terrified to take a whole body shot. So I definitely feel more confident.
I feel more confident in myself. And there's a part of me, honestly, that hates saying that because I don't want my confidence being tied to my weight. And I, again, had reached a good mental place where I was still confident in myself without being thinner. But I do feel like it has made me more confident, not just in how I show up in pictures, but the fact that I feel stronger and the fact that I feel more capable in certain ways because I'm physically able to do more things than I used to be able to do. And so I do feel more confident, but it's not just because I'm skinny. Skinny doesn't mean
No, I
confidence.
mean, I knew I was fabulous as you are when we were heavy,
Exactly.
but
We were fabulous before. We
absolutely
don't need to be skinny to be
have a good time.
fabulous.
That's
That's
all
it.
I'm saying.
It's,
But now I
exactly.
feel
I mean,
like
I may not have been as flexible, but I was still a good time.
But now, like, mentally, I think I look more like how I see myself.
Yeah, the vision that you have of who you are is now showing up in the photos versus just the reverse body
And again,
dysmorphia we
I
had.
still see flaws or whatever, but I try not to be hard on myself and realize it's a journey. And now I need to kick myself in the butt and do the next steps. And no one's going to change that but me.
Exactly.
So,
But it is the thing that gives you the helping hand with that in a way that's safe and effective and actually works. Well, we've been talking for a while. Meredith, thank you so much for being on the
yeah.
premiere episode of Fried Green Avocados. We're going to be doing this a lot more, talking about all of our aches and pains and bodily issues, in addition to our life issues and our house issues and our money issues, all the other issues that come along with being this age. So it's going to be a fun time, people. Meredith, thank you so much. This has been awesome. I hope you have an amazing rest of your
Thank you.
day.
You as well.